Thanks to the global clampdown a few years ago on the use of consumer drones and the introduction of regulations that punished medium and larger models, sub-250-gram drones soared in popularity. For many years, DJI have almost completely owned that sub-250-gram market with the much-loved Mini series, but recently new brands have emerged that offer a real alternative to the DJI range. Potensic have actually been around since 2014, but it's taken them this long to get a decent foothold in those territories dominated by the global behemoth that is DJI. After releasing a few decidedly retro-looking drones, they recently released the Atom, a DJI Mini 2-star micro drone with a full 3-axis gimbal. Now, before we get into this, here's the housekeeping no-shill disclaimer. Potensic reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to review the Atom. I agreed, as long as they understood they'd have zero editorial influence or input on the video, and they were perfectly cool with that. Also, you will not find any affiliate tracking codes in the description either. If you've been following my channel for a while, then you'll know why. Back to the review, and the question, my friends, is this: is the Atom a big bang or a messy meltdown? In that sub-250-gram drone market, DJI have had it their way for some time. Skydio never released a micro drone, and it was only really Autel who offered any viable competition with their Evo Nano range. The Atom's most direct point of comparison, though, is to the DJI Mini 2 SE, which costs about $70 more than the Potensic, only has 2.7K video, and lacks both active track and waypoints. To get closer to a like-for-like feature match in the DJI range, we have to move up to the Mini 3, which costs nearly twice as much, but does have vertical shooting and HDR video. On paper, the Atom represents excellent value for money. There certainly hasn't been a drone at this end of the weight range with features such as 4K video, 3-axis gimbal, active track, intelligent flight modes and waypoints, that is for sure. Here's what you get in the Atom Fly More package. Potensic sent me the Atom Fly More package, which comes in this lovely, durable little carry case. Inside, and I've already taken the shrink wrap off, guys, but bear with me, we have the drone itself, we have the controller, we have battery pack. One of the batteries is of course already in the drone. That's a fast charging unit. We've got the power cable for the controller. We've got a strap for the camera bag. And in the top, we've got a little screwdriver which you can use to put the replacement propellers on. You also get 3 different types of phone cable to cover all the different kinds of phone interface, and some quick start guides to get you off the ground as quickly as possible. After initializing the drone and calibrating the compass in the backyard, I decided to put it through its paces at the coast under what turned out to be fairly testing conditions. So I've decided to bring the Potensic Atom down to my local beach. It's a little bit breezy today. I'm not sure the actual wind speed, but it's gusting a fair bit, so it should be a good test of its capabilities in the wind. So let's get the drone fired up and in the air. Has to be said, I really like the controller. It can hold pretty sizable cameras or tablets, and it's got this little recess here in the side where the cable slots in, so it's all quite neat and tidy. Let's get it fired up. Now, I did all the beginner stuff, firing it up, doing the compass and all that kind of stuff earlier on back at the house, so I could just do the testing down here at the beach. So we should be ready to go. So that's how the unit looks. It's really quite nice. They do say in the instructions to keep these antennae pointing up this way because the signal's coming out of here, not out of the end. So you kind of have to orient it towards the drone itself. So let's fire up the controller first. That's a long press. Beep, beep, on it comes. And then on the drone, that's similar to a DJI, short, long. Okay, so we're connected and we've got 20 satellites on the old GPS, which is brilliant. 87% battery. We're cleared for takeoff. So let's start recording, and I'm going to do the single button takeoff. And away we go. Let me bring the drone into view. It's getting buffeted around by the wind quite a bit, but it's holding steady, and the view on the back of the controller is excellent. Okay, let's test some of these modes then. Let's get a bit of height and just go down the beach a bit. The wind's kicking it around all over the place, but the picture is rock solid. The gimbal, the new 3-way gimbal on these drones, is doing its job. It'll be a different story, of course, further up in the air where the winds are stronger. Gains height quickly, and I can pull it back to me nice and fast. Picture quality on the iPhone looks excellent. Of course, we can't really tell because it's just a preview. We'll have to look at the SD card footage when we get it. The controllers work exactly like the DJI drones, where the left one gives you height and controls the yaw, i.e. left and right rotation, and you've got forwards and backwards on the right hand side and left and right, so you can do sort of tracking, panning and dolly shots. Just going out over the ocean a little bit. It's holding beautifully stably. Okay, I brought it back to home. Let's try a couple of these quick shots. So I'm clicking on the quick shot button, and we've got the pull away. Let's tilt the gimbal down so we can see me. Drawn a picture around me, and now we click go.
3, 2,
and we do the obligatory wave
go.
as it pulls away from us. That's looking quite nice. Going quite slowly, gaining a little bit of height. And you get a little countdown percentage wise. Has to be said, the app is very polished, very DJI like, and now it's completed that, it's coming back. It turned on recording there as well, which is quite nice. Wonder what rock it is. Let's have a look. The drone ascends vertically. Draw a target.
3,
Go.
2, 1, go.
Woo! See ya. Not much of a rocket. That's very slow. It's going up. Oh, I see it's increasing speed the higher up it gets. That's actually a pretty effective little shot. And that's complete, and it's coming back down. So, what else have we got here? Spiral. Let's give that one a go.
Draw our target. That's me.
3,
2, 1. Go on then, spiral, mate.
go.
That's circling. Slowly but surely around me. And it's gaining a bit of height as it goes. Okay, spiral mode finished, and it's now going to return to me, I think. Oh no, that one's staying up there. Okay, let's bring it down and back to me. I've never owned a sub 250 gram drone before, and I'm certainly not used to the difference in weight. That sub 250 gram weight does of course mean it skirts a lot of regulations and rules all over the world. Definitely the case here in Australia. In fact, with a sub 250 gram drone like this, you're allowed to fly inside that 5.5 kilometer exclusion zone around airports. You can't fly into the flight paths or anything stupid like that, but you can fly inside that 5.5k zone. The flight handling of the Potensic Atom was excellent. For such a titchy little drone, it really held its own in very testing windy conditions down here at the beach. It was very responsive, very light on the controls, but you could also move it quite subtly. I did some nice little pan shots just to test how smooth it was going to work, and it was, considering it was quite a long way up and the winds were much stronger, it did a really good job. Quick shots are nice, they're a bit gimmicky, so I put all the different modes on the Potensic Atom through their paces, and they've all worked precisely as advertised. Very impressed by the active track. Of course, its application is somewhat limited by the fact that it does have any collision detection. There's no sensors on it apart from the downward facing one it uses to land the drone, but I suspect that its environment's exactly like this, that the Atom will find its home. So what I'll do now is head for home, get the footage I just shot off the card, have a look at the photographs, and we'll see what kind of quality the little sensor, the little 4K sensor in the Potensic Atom is producing.
In order to fairly rate this drone, it needs to be placed in the context of its target market and its pricing band. At 440 Australian dollars for the drone only package, or $590 for the Fly More, we're clearly in first drone territory, and there's no doubt at all that this would be an excellent choice if you'd like to experiment with quadcopters but aren't sure if they're for you. I can also see the Atom appealing to recreational flyers who just want to take a few pictures or shoot some video on weekends or holidays, or just have a bit of fun flying a drone. Despite the solid 4K video quality, I don't think it's necessarily the best choice for content creators, particularly outdoorsy ones, primarily because it has no collision sensors at all or gradable video. The camera in the Atom produces excellent, vibrant 30 FPS footage, but it has clear limitations. There's only so much the tiny 1/3 Sony CMOS sensor can do, and you should expect some noise even in broad daylight. I shot some test footage close to the ground, and you'll see that it has excellent fine detail and good colour rendition. I'd also like to point out that it doesn't look over sharpened, as videos tend to on DJI sub 250 gram drones. I also tested the drone in a low light scenario, namely around sunset, and it handled the conditions well. There's a fair bit of noise in the shadows, but I've seen much more expensive drones look similar. In addition to shooting 1080p, 2.7K or 4K at 24, 25 or 30 FPS, it can also take 12 megapixel photos in RAW or JPEG. Quality is good for snapshots and scenery, but you'd want more dynamic range to use this drone for anything close to serious photographic purposes. The software that comes with the Atom is excellent. I'd even go as far as say it's better laid out and easier to navigate than the DJI Go app. Camera and video settings are easily accessible and enable you to change ISO, exposure time and exposure compensation. In flight mode, the HUD is laid out in time-honoured DJI style, affording easy access to modes, maps and settings. I'll be honest with you, I underestimated the Potensic Atom at pretty much every stage of this review process, beginning with the packaging and ending with the video quality. You really can't fault the quality of the Fly More package itself, from the design of the little bag to the speed with which the fast charger replenishes the batteries. They even supply a 64GB Lexar SD card with the drone, so it's ready for action as soon as you receive it. In flight, it was responsive, fast and agile, but I also appreciated how smoothly I could turn the drone to film slow panning shots. The special modes all work as expected. In particular, the active track and waypoint features are both excellent and, I might add, pretty much unheard of on a drone at this price point. The controller is well designed, ergonomic and simple to use. The footage is excellent considering the tiny size of the sensor in the camera, and the white balancing and colour rendition are also excellent. All things being equal, you're getting a lot of high-end features in a drone that costs slightly more than half the price of the nearest equivalent model. It's not a drone I'd ever really consider using in any kind of professional setting, but for anyone who wants to have a bit of fun with drones without having to sell a kidney, it's ideal. And that'll do us for this review of the Potensic Atom. Do you fly a sub 250 drone? How do you reckon it compares to the old Atom? Let me know in the comments section down below. As always, if you got value from this content, then do please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more photo, video and drone related content from yours truly. Till the next time guys, ta-ta!